behind the wall, behind them barbed wires. A week is like a month, and a month is like a year. My name is Terrance Lewis. I was incarcerated. I was wrongfully arrested in December of 1998. Living that life every day for 21 years was beyond a hardship.
Terrance Lewis was 17 years old when he was arrested in connection with a murder. 2 years later, a jury deemed him guilty and he went to prison.
It was alleged that I was a participant in a robbery, a botched robbery that had went wrong. And he found me guilty of second-degree murder, which was a felony murder, meaning that the allegation of me being there, that I may have been there, I was given a life sentence for practically being in the house when the murder occurred.
A witness who admitted later in court that she was high at the time gave false information, putting him behind bars and forcing him to leave his family, including his 1-year-old son.
He's a grown man now, he's 21. I wound up spending 21 years trying to convince a court, trying to convince anyone who, would hear, my cries and my grievances, that they had an innocent man in jail.
In Pennsylvania, a life sentence is imposed without the possibility of parole. But he didn't give up hope.
I had to keep on keeping on.
Terrance took matters into his own hands, representing himself. When he got to the court door, the judge insisted on appointing him an attorney. This time, it was David Lachey. However, it wasn't until 10 years later that Terrance was finally released. In 2012, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled automatic life sentences for juveniles were unconstitutional.
The judge granted Terrance a new trial because his due process rights had been trampled. The district attorney's office withdrew the charges, and the judge then discharged Terrance because there were no live charges against him.
We are very happy to see my nephew home out of 21 years. We was heartbroken.
Since the day he got out, Terrance has been bombarded with love from people he hasn't seen for decades.
See that? It's freaking long, man.
Oh my God.
So long.
Yo, it feels so good.
This is my high school friend. This is like, my little sis, man. We grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up together. I haven't seen her. When last time I seen you, honestly?
Since you was 18.
What's happening?
The beautiful reunions are no secret to neighbors.
He can live his life and get his life back, and that's more than anything anybody can ask for. Life, you know what I'm saying, and freedom.
Oh man, it's a blessing.
Absolutely,
oh man.
What's next? What we doing next?
The top of the world, man.
Absolutely.
A free man, nostalgically visiting places where he holds fond memories and reintroducing his taste buds to the food of his childhood.
No more trays, man. All water ice. Cold and delicious. Got a brain freeze because of how good it is. Worth the wait. Lemon, strawberry lemon.
The world in 1998 was very different than the world we have today.
Absolutely.
Was that a big culture shock to you getting out?
It was. It's foreign to me. It's different. The world is different. Downtown Philadelphia is completely different. Only thing that's not different for the most part, which is sad, is my neighborhood. My neighborhood's still the same. This is why the crime is so prevalent in my community. We don't have nothing. It's just tore down. I have nothing. It's not much here as far as for the kids, for the youth.
Terrance's experience in the state of his neighborhood has inspired him to make a difference.
Quarters.
Thank
you. You're welcome. Make sure you get it fixed. There we go. Now you get the tire fixed. And we can really go places. That's right.
He plans to keep on fighting to make sure what happened to him doesn't continue with other innocent people.
I'm going to be a voice for the voiceless. I'm going to hopefully bring into existence some type of change, and I'm going to use my story, my journey as a catalyst to bring about it, because it's needed. I'm living proof that it's needed.
Styled by a former cellmate, getting a haircut has become a symbol of freedom.
Inside the camp, inside prison, you only allowed to get your hair cut once a month.
As Terrance settles into modern-day life, he can finally focus on his future. He plans to get a degree in criminal justice and was offered a job as an attorney's paralegal, a job Leisha thinks he's well cut out for.
He keeps me on my toes. He'd call from prison, and in the 10 minutes you get on a phone call with a prisoner, he'd ask me 24 hard questions about the law and about the facts.
Both Terrance and Leisha agree great changes are already happening in the justice system, but there's still work that needs to be done.
Terrance's case, and many others like Terrance, should prove to people that while our system of justice is good, it isn't perfect, and they should always keep in mind that mistakes are possible and mistakes need to be fixed and corrected.
Terrance plans to be the motivation for that change, using his optimism to push him forward.
Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Put your best foot forward and constantly pound on the door. Somebody gonna hear you.